Hi everyone, welcome to the next part of this tutorial from the planner page of from the 2nd of October, week of, it's the 4th today when this video is going out. We are going to come in a little closer as we are going to be doing this tree. We're going to include this bit in here because it sort of continues round. So to start my tree trunk, I'm going to use a slightly different colour. I've been planning this, although probably sharpening it might have been a good idea. This is the olive green yellowish, okay, and we're going to use it for the tree trunk. It's very small, and then we're going to put some brown probably on it after. It's quite a brownish green, which is why I thought I would use it. That bit is actually a bit of that, isn't it? I'm going to pretend it's the same thing because we're not colouring this as if it's a symmetrical picture. We're pretending it's not. So we're going to make both sides a bit different. If you are colouring the page from Enchanted Forest rather than the planner page, then you'll have the rest of this. So you might want to do this, stop here and do this a bit differently, but we don't have that, so we're just gonna do it a bit different. So I'm just putting a base coat down effectively of a fairly even coat of this green. Now a green tree trunk is a bit different, that's why I'm doing it, just for some variety. You don't have to, you can do it with brown, but we're going to probably add some brown after anyway. I'm still thinking it through as I go, but we have these sort of viney tendrils which look completely right in the green anyway, but they would work in a brown or a pink, any colour, or a blue. Now, I often think with the Enchanted Forest book, we do have a lot of trees and a lot of leaves to colour, and actually it is an enchanted forest, so we shouldn't feel limited colour-wise to the conventional colours. We can use any colour we wish. And so if you want to use something a bit more magical and, you know, unrealistic, then why not? It's not like these pictures can particularly be coloured in a photorealistic way anyway, just because of the way they're drawn. So you can just use your imagination. As you can see, I'm doing each of the little vine bits as well right now, because when I use my second colour to sort of darken up the edges of the trunk, I'm not going to go over these bits. I'm going to leave them in this green. I think it's going to work quite well. I hope so anyway. I need to be even sharper. I'm going to run out of pencil if I'm not careful. It is a very little one. It's actually making my hand a bit crampy, which I have a pencil extender somewhere, but I'm just going to keep going. Actually, no, I'm not going to. I find it really difficult to find, doesn't fit, a pencil extender that fits Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils. That one was too big. Had two different bits on it. One was too big and one was too small, so that was useful. Anyway, I've got several different sets, so I probably should try a different one. But anyway, I'm just going to carry on like this. I tried the Derwent ones. They don't fit brilliantly and they really hurt my hands. So that one there, I don't know what brand that is, it's much better. It doesn't hurt. The Derwent one's got a sort of, here's the Derwent one. It's got this sort of grippy bit which always hurts my hand. I've also got these are nice, these wooden ones. I think those are, no, it doesn't fit. Does that one fit if I pull it out? No. I wonder if that one fits if I pull it out, because you'd have to alter them slightly. That just fits. Maybe I can use that one. Oh, that's better. So this is a, I don't know what this is called. It's a black plastic one. Okay, so that's all of the tree done. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the base of each leaf also in this green and then just fade it. Okay. I wasn't going to do this because the green was hurting my hand, but now I've got this extender, it feels fine. It's a bit, I keep putting my hand on the metal bit. They take a bit of getting used to. But yeah, I don't know which is the best. Polychrome and Faber-Castell don't actually make them themselves. I've just noticed we've got leaves falling down here which are coming from this tree, which I should have probably coloured in that tree colour. I'm trying to remember, I used green gold, didn't I? And then did I use, was it the sienna? Burnt sienna? I'm trying to remember. It was all of half an hour ago. And I covered that bit, I think. Anyway, I shall have a look in a bit. As I said yesterday's video, it doesn't really matter if they're not exactly right. It's interesting that this tree has leaves of all sorts of different shapes and sizes growing on it. Like we have these heart-shaped ones with an outline bit, this one doesn't. These are just pointy. These have got a long loopy bit. I'm trying to think about what colour to do the rest of this one. You know, the rest of the leaves. We also, I decided what I'm doing with the trunk, so maybe I need to do that first and then see what's going to work. I mean, obviously it's not essential that it matches, but it's it'd be nice if it sort of ties together, wouldn't it? But we've also got to think about the overlap with the leaves in this one. I've got an idea. Something I think will work. And these leaves are totally different. And I've got a lot of brown on where I coloured over them by mistake. Right. I'm also having a think about what Halloween pictures to colour for you while I'm colouring that, which is probably not the best idea. Right. Tree trunk first. I'm going to grab my Van Dyck brown and do a bit on the edge. I'm just going to sharpen it. I don't want to do too much because I don't want to take away from the green colour. But I'm going to start right over here where our trunk starts and do a sort of darker edge, just like we've done with the others really. I'm just going to ignore that bit. So basically I'm layering it up on the edge and then just sort of putting less layers as I sort of put it into the green, so it sort of fade it in hopefully. I may find I need to go over all of it with a bit of brown or else it's look a bit odd, but we'll see how it looks once I've sort of finished doing all of it. It's quite difficult until you've done it all to get the idea. I mean, if if you can visualise, you could probably work it out, but I can't. I'm going to leave that. I was singing Christmas songs the other day. My son was like, no Christmas songs until December. I was like, haha. It's funny. Oh dear. I just sing all year round all sorts of things. So, but it's funny. I noticed I was doing it and I thought, oh gosh, I shouldn't be doing this, it's too early. And then, because he shouted at me for not doing it, I carried on. It's cruel. I know I'm cruel. It's funny. I am doing a little bit over all of it. Just sort of tone it in. I think that's okay. I'm going to do my leaves and then decide. Now I decided on, I'm going to do my leaves, the other end of my leaves, in a sanguine. So we've got quite an autumnal tone coming along. I hope it works. We'll find out, won't we? Now where these are turned over, I'm just going to ignore that, colour it in. I sometimes find it quite difficult to know quite what to do with the sort of turned over bit of leaf. Now I'm going to take it quite far down so it blends in to this green. It's not really a natural friend, these two colours, because the one's a bit sort of brownish greyish and the other one's more orangey yellow, but I'm hoping it'll sort of lighten and brighten this bit right in the middle and bring our sort of autumn story. That's a noisy train. Yeah, we've got train strikes next week. Ooh. There's one on, the one on Saturday might affect the Monday trains, more likely to affect the Sunday trains, but I will just have to check and see if that looks like they're affected still. Hopefully by the end of Sunday they'd have sorted it out. And then the strike on Wednesday might affect the Thursday trains, which my one boy isn't in, but the other one is, who I've got his dad on standby saying he might need a lift, because unfortunately there's no early enough bus to get him there. And he could be late, but it's not very nice being late anyway, walking into a class late, but especially on only the second lesson, you know. I mean, in university, everything's a bit more laid back. They do have an attendance requirement, which is interesting, but you can have an authorised absence, which you couldn't really do in school. Like, illness was unauthorised absence, whereas in university you can have a week off ill and they'll authorise it, and then after that you need a doctor's note, which is okay. And if you're things like if your train's cancelled or whatever, that would be authorised. So I think if you had a holiday it wouldn't be quite so acceptable, but we won't be doing that anyway. And my niece, I know, missed a few classes and they were okay about it. To start with, they got a bit stricter on her later because she started missing quite a few. But you can catch up online, so I gather, but I don't know. I shall have to ask my boys if their lessons have appeared online or not. But my son also said they check who's there at the end of the lesson rather than the beginning, so if you're a bit late, it doesn't matter. I rather like that. I think that's worked, which is good. Just tidying my workspace a little bit. We need to do these little leaves here. What sort of greens haven't we used? We could, I'm not going to do them this colour actually, I think they would be different. Let's go for quite a dark green, because we're quite down in the between the trees. This is a deep cobalt green, and let's use this because it's going to be quite shadowy down here. This is quite a bluey green, but I think it'll be okay. And I'm just going to fade it to the tip of the leaf, so not doing anything too fancy. And then I've got to think of what to do with our next tree. There we go. Now I could put a little bit of colour on the tips, just to like we did on these. I'm going to grab actually I think the Indian red. Just put a bit of colour. It just adds a little extra element. There we go. Now, yes, this bunch of leaves. Now I could do the vine and the leaf the same colour. I think I might do that. Hang on, let me have a quick look. What browns there's some browns we haven't used. We've used that one. Walnut brown. I'm going to do, yes. So I'm going to do, I've just got to wipe my nose, sorry. The branch and the bottom of the leaf in walnut brown, and then the tip in a green. Just for a bit different. So walnut brown, let's go for it. Actually that's got the branch and the leaf in the same colour as well. So maybe that's a bit samey, but never mind. This is brown, it's going to look different. Oh, trying to stay in the lines. It's proving to be a challenge. So a bit here. And what I'm thinking is to make this one different, is where this turned over bit is, I'm going to put a bit of brown in. And I will also go over that with my second colour, which I'm not going to reveal yet. Keep you watching. Reveal later. I haven't 100% decided yet, to be truthful. Now I do think it's funny when you're watching a short and it says on screen, watch to the end. And I think that's the thing I find annoying about shorts, is you can't skip to the end. So you can't see what's going to happen, you have to watch it all. And then if you miss the end because you're distracted, then you've got to watch it all over again, which is really annoying. Whereas with a normal video, like if you're watching this and you want to watch a bit faster, you can not only double the speed if you want, I'm sure people do that, but you can also just skip it on a bit, which I'm sure again people do. Like sometimes when I'm watching a completed pages video, I might just, because some people they've done, you know, just 10 pictures in a month and their video is half an hour long, so I just sort of skip it along and actually just look at the pictures rather than listening to them chatter on. Sometimes I enjoy listening to people chatter on, and sometimes I just want to look at the pictures. You know, we all watch in different ways, and that's absolutely fine. I know I've had people say, I'd like to look at your completed pages, but I haven't got 44 minutes to spare to watch the video. And I'm like, fair enough, it's a long time to watch. And, you know, you can speed it up by double. There's a bit of brown on there. But you can't speed it up. YouTube doesn't allow you to speed it up more. So I totally understand. So we're all different. But I do try and talk a bit about the pictures. But not for too long, because there's so many of them. And then if I've completed a book, which this month September, I'd completed 3, then I skip through those really quickly, because if you wanted to see more, you could watch the completed pages video. I was going to aim to complete another book this month, but I'm not now because I'm just sharpening the next pencil. I'm not going to reveal it until I've sharpened it. Drum roll. Exciting. It's the May green. It's pale, isn't it? I'm going to colour it right down to the base of the leaf to sort of blend it right in with that dark brown. It's just a really different idea. I've lost my complete train of thought now. Never mind. Oh, completed pages, yes. So yes, I thought if you, I was gonna, that bit should be brown, but never mind. I was going to try and finish another book this month, but I've got out a big pile of Halloween pages to do, so I probably won't. That bit needs to be brown too. Let's just grab the walnut brown. Whoops. Just do that bit. Yeah, so I've grabbed out. I've got there's lots of Halloween style pictures in Hannah Carlson books. I've grabbed out loads of them, especially witches. Tales from a Witch's Cottage, of course. But there's also other ones with witches and potions and all sorts of things going on. I've got a book called Magical Seasons, I think it's called, and there's some autumnal Halloween-y pictures in there which I've got to do. I've got Rita Berman's autumn book, so there's plenty in there. Pumpkins and things, really more Halloween-y. And then I've got what else did I find? There's got a few things. There's quite a few in Maria Trolle's book, and the book that I call Fluff Balls as well has got a few different ones. So I picked out a bunch. I'm sure there's a few others as well, but anyway, I've got a whole pile of books to have a go at Halloweeny pictures. Now I've got to do these 3 leaves here. As I say, they were from this tree up here. So we started with green gold, I seem to remember. So here's the green gold. I think we did the whole leaf in green gold, didn't we? They are such a pretty colour leaf. I feel like should have done the whole page in that colour. It would have been a bit boring though, wouldn't it? And then I'm pretty sure I used the burnt sienna for the tips. Does that look right? I think so. Yeah. Right. Mushrooms. Now we've got 3 different types. I think I'm going to start with this one in a red, but I don't want to do I think I'll do a more orangey red to make it look a bit more autumnal. Let's grab this one. This is the cadmium orange. Is it dark? 115. Dark cadmium orange. I'm going to use that here. Oh, it is quite. Oh, I thought it was red. It's not, is it? Oh well. We will add some red to it in a bit. I mean, it's obviously called orange, but I thought it looked a bit reddish just because the light in here and where the pencils are isn't brilliant. I think I'd know my polychromos by now. Now this one is 117, which is probably, oh, that's a light cadmium red. Let's use that on the edges just to darken up the edges a bit. I've just gone over that dot. Yeah. There we go. I'm happy with that one now. What colour dot should we do? I'm wondering whether to do them brown, just for something different. I'm going to grab this nougat and do my dots brown. Usually I leave them white. I think most people do. But let's do it differently. It looks more autumnal rather than white, and I'm going to do the gills in this as well. There we go. Now the stem I want to do in a warm grey 5. French greys would be best, but don't have them in polys. There we go. Now these two, I think I'm going to do the same. I'm going to use terracotta, I think. You have to believe me. Now, a bit darker here and lighter towards the middle. I'm going to colour over those teardrop shapes for now. You could turn those into water droplets if you're really clever. I do have a video on how to do it, but I am not going to do that. I don't think that's what they are, to be honest, although they might not be meant to be anything. I'm just going to sharpen. Knowing Johanna, we could be a bit closer, couldn't we? Knowing Johanna, she probably didn't have any intention for them, she just made it look pretty. Right. While my pencil's sharp, I'm going to do this bit here. Darken it. Now I know I said I wasn't doing it symmetrically because our centre of symmetry is here, but with these ones they look the same and they're small, so I think it's okay. Sometimes we get little things bunched together, it doesn't have to be symmetrical. I'm just going to darken this side up a little bit. Now I sharpen the pencil. Now you notice I'm leaving it a bit lighter in the middle to try and give it a more rounded shape. We'll do the gills in quite a dark brown. I'm going to grab the burnt umber for those. Are they called gills? I think they are. I also think they're going to be a bit darker near the top, but it's quite hard, there's not much space to do that. We'll make this stems a bit lighter. I'm thinking cold grey 3. And while I think about what I'm doing with those teardrop shapes, trying to make it a little bit dark on the edge of the stem compared with the centre to again give it that sort of rounded look. So actually I'm going to take the warm grey 5 and just put a little bit along each edge. Oh, my phone's ringing. Right, I am back, having been away on the phone for quite some time, and I'm trying to remember what I was doing. I think I was potentially thinking about these little teardrop shapes. I might just grab some walnut brown actually and fill them in. Here it is. I'm going to sharpen it and try to, this may not work. I'm going to try and make them a little bit darker near the bottom, a bit lighter at the top. It's a bit fiddly because they're small. You can just block them in if you find that a bit tricky. I don't know if it adds much anyway, really. That one didn't work. There we go. Right, now these two. I'd quite like, I think I'm going to use the this Venetian red. It's a little bit different, a bit more muted. I don't really want like a bright red. And again, a bit darker here and then less towards the centre. It's been all go since I've been off. My mum rang, which was nice, had a chatter with her, and was talking to my son who's home. He's been doing some recording, he's got that sorted, and he seems to have most of what he needs now to do his project work, so he's getting on with that. I'm going to use the raw umber for the gills on this one, just so they're a little bit different. And then my other son was let out of his class a little bit early, so he because I've got accidentally gone over the stem with this, I'm going to do it in brown, but I'm going to then go over it in a grey. I might use the warm grey 4. Is that 4 Ivy? I think so. And just put a little bit of this on as well. Try and do it dark on the edges. It's quite small. Yeah, he was let out his class a little bit early, so he's sort of on his way. Now, I'm just looking, let's come out. I think we've done all of the pencil elements on the page. So you can see my detritus of pencils. I'm just going to move them away. Hold on a minute. And then we're going to do some pastel on the background. I'm going to use my Mungio soft pastels. Let's try and get it all in shot for you. There we go. Now it's usually a good idea to put a piece of paper behind the page. I'm just trying to find a clean, I haven't got a clean, oh I have, almost, it's clean on that side, cloth. I'm going to, oh, sorry, just knocked there. I'm just going to put this piece of paper behind, just so that I don't get pastel all down the sides of the other pages and things. And let's open them up and see what's what now. Here we go. Now choosing colours. Well, we want something woodlandy, foresty I mean, and autumnal. So I'm thinking if we go for one of these more olive greeny shades here. I have a feeling that one's really pale, that one's a little bit dark. No, it's the other way around. To start with, and then I might add in something a bit darker, but is it going to fade that tree away, because that's quite olivey? Maybe it won't hurt. I think I'm going to try this one. It's quite dark, isn't it? Maybe I'll get lighter through. Let's take some of this one up onto the cloth and do the bottom. Now put my finger on a bit that I'm not going to be putting pastel on, so I don't get a smudgy greasy fingerprint into my pastel. Yeah, I like this colour. I think this is the one that's going to run out quite quickly in my set. And the same down here in this one. You can see how really quick it is, which I love. Backgrounds can be so daunting and tricky. It's so quick and easy. Now I'm going to go for the lighter one. I'm actually putting it on top of the darker one on my sponge. I don't know if there's a big difference between them. We'll see, won't we? Now you notice I'm just going over everything. I'm going to try and avoid going over our mouse, but it doesn't matter if I put green over the top of the brown and the leaves and things. A bit more of this lighter one. I like the fact that it looks like we're sort of slowly fading as we're going up. What I would really like now is a sort of yellowy green to go into the next bit, but I don't have anything. I have these sort of browny yellows. I think I'm going to transition into that. Maybe this one is quite a nice sort of goldy colour. If I start down at this level and start pulling it in right down here, then it'll blend it through, I hope. Now it's quite difficult for me to tell you what pastels I'm using because they don't have names and numbers and things like that, but hopefully you'll be able to have a go with something similar if you want to put some in. And it's quite pale, so it's not really showing up on camera either, so then I've got that a little bit of a problem too. Now I'm going with the lighter one, this one here, which is again a sort of, I think it's sort of ochre really. I think it's going to go nicely in this tree behind these, but also it won't take from the green on this tree. And it just looks a little bit more finished. Oops. A little bit more finished without very much effort at all. I'm just wondering whether to make it a tiny bit darker down here. This green isn't very well blended. So I'm just going to grab a bit more of our slightly lighter green. Just put a bit more up here. Try and blend it in. And then a bit more of the darker one. At the bottom, just darken up a bit more there. I don't know how much you can see, but I think I'm nearly done. There we go. Really simple at the end, I think. Obviously, it takes a bit of practice to use your pastels, but once you are confident, it's very quick. So let's just move this away. I'm just going to put the lid on properly so I don't knock them all over the floor. There we go. And take away my piece of paper. You can see all that dust would have gone down onto the edges of my book. And there is the finished picture, which, yes, came out better than I imagined, to be honest. I was a bit daunted by the page, and yeah, I'm happy with it. So, thank you for watching. I hope you have a super day. Please like, comment, subscribe. All those things make such a difference to the channel. And yeah, thank you and happy colouring.